I Hate Everything About You, Part 4. It took a bit of getting used to being in a relationship, especially with the way some families in our town were, so old-fashioned. But I was not ashamed of my relationship with Doug. I was proud to hold his hand when we were out. It was the best summer so far because we went on dates since we never had a chance to do so in the past. The stares were unnerving sometimes, and I became reluctant to go out as much when we were still in town. But Doug refused to let trivial things like old ladies giving us funny looks when we were out in public affect him. And soon enough, I did not really care. We enjoyed our last summer before college, training for fun and spending quality time together. Ever since the night when we told our parents about us, there was little to no interaction between us and them. The only person that came to visit us at our coach's house was Alyssa, who got along well with Doug, which meant that they often ganged up on me in the fall. We moved out of town to begin our college journey, but we were not very far. About an hour's drive from town. Unfortunately, we did not get assigned to the same room, which meant that we did not get to spend much time with each other. Orientation and adjusting to the schedule meant that we only saw each other briefly, but as it is said, absence makes the heart grow fonder. One day we planned to go out on a date since we had not really explored the town together. When I saw him, I hugged him really tightly, causing him to tease me and claim that I could not live without him. I did not admit it, of course, but there was a truth in his words. He annoyed me most of the time due to his stubbornness, but I lived for the thrill that he gave me. "Where do you want to go? It's nice and sunny here," I said, as we walked down the road. It was the weekend and nearly everyone was out due to the sunny weather. I had missed him so much and I could not help being extra affectionate with him. We walked along the harbor after stopping for some ice cream. "You know, I never asked you if you knew the real reason why our moms do not like each other," he suddenly said. "Oh, I thought I told you. It must have slipped out of my mind. Something about an important recipe your mom stole," I said nonchalantly. "Dude," he said as he looked at me and started to laugh. His laugh was infectious, so soon I was laughing along with him. We were soon out of breath and clutching for our stomachs. It was a good thing that we had finished our ice creams because the laughter that shook me was too much. Now that it was over, I could see how trivial the whole thing looked to him. On a more serious note, that recipe helped our business to grow all these years ago, and when your mom found it, it increased her sales, causing a loss to us. According to Dad, 60% of our revenue was based on that recipe, I said. "Yeah, I get what you mean, but yeah, there are worse things that they could have fought about," he said. "I agree with you there. They were pulled into it for so many years, not getting a chance to even form a relationship," I said. "I think being competitive runs in our family. Good thing neither of us likes cooking," he chuckled. "But how about racing to that boat over there?" I smirked. He laughed and started running after me. It was just our luck that they had a special on boat rides, so we decided to spoil ourselves. Had we not gone on that boat ride, I never would have found out that my boyfriend was scared of water. He was so cute when he snuggled up to me. "My dear, you are missing the best part of the boat ride," I said. "Shush, I'm fine where I am," he said, clutching onto me. "Keep on clinging to me and we'll fall into the water. Is that what you want?" I sighed. I guess I could put a seatbelt on," he said as he reluctantly let go of me. He did look very pale and I felt bad for taunting him. "You want me to ask him to hurry up? You do not look well. I thought you liked water. You like swimming, do you not?" I asked him. "I do like swimming, but only in pools. I'm scared of the ocean because it's so bottomless," he explained. "Why did you agree to be on the boat then?" I asked him. "I wanted to make you happy and I thought it'd be romantic, so I'm sorry that I did not let you know." He looked down sheepishly. "Hey, you don't always have to do stuff that makes you uncomfortable, all because you want to make me happy," I said, as I squeezed his hand. I kissed him softly on the lips, and when I leaned back, he smiled and my heart warmed. I woke up every day excited to see that face and get to know him even more. There were so many layers to him, and each time I uncovered a new one. I realized that I wanted more. Nick teased me a bit when I would go off on tangents speaking about Doug, but I guess love is like that. It draws you into a person. Soon, the boat ride ended, and we sat on the bench as I waited for him to feel better. I felt bad that it had been my idea to go on the ride, and I chastened him for trying to make me happy. "Okay, I'm hungry, and I heard that there is a place that makes very good food somewhere around here," he said after we had been sitting for a while. We got to the place and saw one of our teammates there. Everyone knew that we were dating because we made it very clear in the beginning. We were accepted into the team and never made to feel any less welcome. That was what I liked about college. No one gave a damn about who you wanted to date, and those that did were bound by the rules so they could not do much about it. "Hey, both of you, come over here." "Sorry to put a stop to your little rendezvous," Clifton shouted. Everyone laughed and waved us over. It was one of those places that had large tables because most college students frequent the place. We took our seats and ordered some food as we chatted to the guys and had a good time for the rest of the night. It was until Theo, one of the guys, brought on the topic of Parents' Weekend. We looked at each other when we started talking about it. I'd been dreading that day as we were very unlikely to get visits. Neither of us were talking to our families. The last we heard, our mothers were still feuding. It seemed that not even the loss of their sons was reason enough to fix things between them. Dude, my mom will not stop sending me some sweaters she knitted. They're filling up my drawers, Thomas said. Everyone at the table started laughing, and soon the topic was forgotten. A while later, we decided to leave since we were quite tired and needed to spend some quality time together. After the mention of parents, he had kind of shut down and was not talking as much. Think they'll ever realize how silly they were being and make up? I asked him. Will not hold my breath, he scoffed. Why do you say that? We fixed things between us, now look at us. Even if they do fix things, they're both homophobic, and they will not accept us, he said. Guess you're right, but yeah, they are being childish. It has been nearly 20 years, I responded. We went to his room and cuddled while watching some Netflix. His roommate was never there most of the time, so I was there often as I could. Being true to nature, it took a long time for us to come to terms with what we wanted to watch. He wanted one thing and I wanted another, so we spent many minutes arguing over what we would watch. In the end, I gave in, because I realized that I could not win every fight. We finally settled for a comedy, which helped to lift the mood. The feeling of him being so comfy and it being a bit late at night led me to falling asleep on his chest. I ended up spending the night in his room because it was already past curfew. The next morning I woke up before he did because my phone was buzzing non-stop. When I checked it, I saw that it was messages from Alyssa. Alyssa, hey, so mom and dad are coming to visit on Parents' Weekend. Alyssa, bro, wake up, it's an emergency. Me, what? How did I even find out? I don't want him here, especially not mom. Alyssa, I know, and from what I heard, Doug's family is coming too. This is nothing but a recipe for drama, and I also saw it ending one way, tears. I packed my stuff and sneaked out of his room. He was sleeping so soundly that I did not want to wake him up. I only told him about it later when we met up for lunch, and he took it worse than me. For the whole week during practice, he was on edge, making stupid mistakes he could not afford to do. And in the few classes that we shared, he was not concentrating. To be honest, neither was I. I was feeling so anxious about the coming weekend. So then, the day came. I greeted Alyssa warmly because she was the only person that I was getting along with. My father had been pulled into my mother's madness, so I did not even feel like interacting with him. I mumbled quick greetings to them and left them to their own devices. I only took Alyssa with me to show her around the place. So, I wanted to tell you something. I know you'll be a little shocked, she said. Okay, what is it? I figured it was some drama that had happened between our families once again. The reason why they're here is that our mom and Doug's mom kind of fixed things, she said. How? Mom had very strong feelings about that recipe. It was pretty much the soul of the restaurant, I said. I do not know, but yeah, we found out this morning that they were being civil to each other, she said. I do not trust the both of them, though. It could be an act, I said skeptically. My mother loved to be in control and she did not easily forgive. I wonder what had made her forgive them. I asked Doug to confirm it and he said it was true. So that night, our families had dinner together, which was our mother's idea. Before the dinner, we agreed that we would not trust anything that they said, even if they had changed. It did not change what they had put us through. Personally, I wanted to avoid him, but Alyssa insisted. At the dinner, they apologized to both of us. Look, we only want the best for you, my mother said. Doug's mother nodded, agreeing with my mom for the first time ever. What made you come to your senses? Doug asked. Losing the both of you. We realized how short life was, so we talked things over, his mom said. I did not know. After everything that we had been put through and those hurtful words, I was not so sure that I wanted to hear it. Yes, we get that you two wanted to get us to make up for a long time, but we did not listen. We are sorry, my mom said. The same woman who had told me not to come back to her house is now telling me that she wanted to fix things between us. Something was fishy. I exchanged a look with him and I could tell that he was thinking the same thing as me. Okay, Mom, I forgive you, I said. Things were normal for the rest of the dinner. However, as we were leaving, I found that I could not see my mom. So then, I went back to the restaurant, which was where I found her and Doug's mom in a corner. I came closer and I was shocked to hear what they were saying. Okay, I've kept my end of the deal. We both got our sons back. Once we gain their trust, we can easily break them up, Doug's mom said. I was beyond shaken. I knew that I could not trust either of them. They were set on breaking me and Doug apart. Okay, and after that we leave each other alone, my mother said. I could not believe that they were still set on controlling us. Doug had been right. Even if they fixed things between them, there was still the homophobia, which had been the main reason that we cut ties with them. They were both liars and hypocrites for what they were doing. They claimed to want the best for us, but turned around and did the complete opposite. Mom, I do not want to see you ever again. Not knowing that you have not changed, I said. As she turned to look at me, she started to stutter incoherent words. Aiden, we're only trying to do what's best for you. The town is laughing at us because of you two, Doug's mom said. Gosh, go to hell with the town and your obsession with status. And all that stupid recipe as well. I'm done. I screamed and I stormed away. After that altercation, I told Doug what had happened back at the restaurant. He was not surprised because he too had been suspecting it for a while. Our mothers might have loved us, but that did not change the fact that they were so toxic. They would continue to try and worm their way into our relationship if we did not do something. I had failed in seeing my mother pulling my strings for all those years, even when I was still dating girls, but I was done. What do you think we should do, my love? He asked me. There are always going to be looming over us. I do not know about you, but I do not want anything to do with my mom and my dad by default. He's always being pulled into everything, but Alyssa's still my sister, I said. Same. Let us cut them out once again, he said. So we both requested our parents to not be allowed to visit on campus ever again, and we blocked them. Nothing hurts more than a second time someone betrays you. Even if you see them coming, that stuff that happened with our parents took us a while to get over, but it made us stronger because this time we refused to be used as pawns in their games. We managed to continue our education on full scholarships while building a beautiful and solid relationship together. After we graduated, we got jobs in a nice apartment for us to rent together. Over the years, we met friends who accepted us for who we were, and there were the family which we got to choose. Alyssa ended up moving to our town when she began college, and from what she told us, the feud between her mothers had only intensified as the years progressed. Since she was always the one with the brains in the family, she ended up studying some complicated IT program that I cannot even pronounce, and I was surprised to find out that she was now dating Nick, but I approved since he was a good person. I was just glad that my sister was happy. After nearly 7 years together, Doug asked me to marry him, and of course, I agreed. Many of our friends told us that we were lucky to have found love at such a young age and stayed together. Not to say it was still all sunshine and rainbows. We faced multiple problems as a couple and took breaks from our relationship due to the difficulties which we faced. However, that did not stop us from getting married. In fact, it made us even stronger. We're not sure about kids due to how our childhood had been, but a little girl who was abandoned by her mother captured our hearts one day when we visited a children's home. The rest was history. We named her Salome, and she was the apple of our eyes. We also made sure that we let her make her own choices as she was growing up. We both knew what it was like to grow up with super protective parents, so we did not want her to feel like she was not free. In the darkness, there is light, even though it might seem like all will never be okay. My light was the family I was born with, Alyssa, and the family I chose, Doug, Nick, and Salome. And I would not have it any other way. The end. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing to become part of our Rainbow Force, and stay wholesome.